Mute myself. It's not blinking. Okay, welcome to Tuesday of week 2. We have done 20 minutes of review of the first week, which was not recorded, and now we're doing new stuff. And we're going to talk about just how to multiply and divide by hand. And we just did an example that I wasn't planning on, but that was sort of advanced. Now we'll go back and do it the simple way, or without such tricky numbers. And I want to first say that we're learning algorithms. That's math jargon. It just means recipe or process. If you followed a baking recipe, you know an algorithm. So this is the algorithm for how to do multiplication that we will be talking about. And I want to explain how it works. You will, as far as I know, and I haven't actually done a practice GED, so I might be lying, but I don't think anyone will ever ask you to explain how the multiplication algorithm works. You just have to be able to use it. But you are also smart people and deserve to know why it works. So when I start doing things with pictures in the next few minutes, if you are not a picture person, don't worry about the pictures. No one is going to make you do the pictures. But for some people in the room, they will be very helpful. So that's what I'm doing. But your job is just to be able to use the algorithm. Okay, if I say how many square feet is this rectangle, that's 4 feet by 2 feet, then I'm saying that one side is 4 feet and one side is 2 feet, and these little tiles are all a physical tile, 1 foot on a side, that I could go to a hardware store and buy. So I put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Let's actually write that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can see the answer is 8 square feet. And we measure areas in square feet because we're actually putting a square foot and another square foot and another square foot, right? Each one is a tile that we could buy at the hardware store. In this labeling scheme, I am drawing 2 rows of 4. I have a 4 and I have another 4, and that gets me to 8. I'm thinking this is 4 times 2, 2 copies of 4. I could just as easily have labeled it the other way on, oops, 2, 1, 2. Now I have 1 copy of 2. Let's make 4 copies of 2. So there's 1, another 1, another 1, another 1. I still get the same answer, of course, 8 square feet. This time I'm writing it with periods, not right as much. So it doesn't matter whether I think of this as 2 copies of 4 or 4 copies of 2, I get the same answer. You can mix things up when you multiply 2 numbers and not change the answer. Everyone with me so far? Okay. So now this page. With that preface, let's look at the standard multiplication algorithm. I'm assuming that everyone here has seen this before. Anyone want to wave their hands because they've never seen this before? There are people that don't. If you have grown up in another country, they have other ones, and you might not have seen this one, but everyone says they have seen it. Okay. You've seen this one? Okay. So let's talk about how it works. I'm going to do 1 times 5 is 5. Then I'm going to do 3 times 5 is 15. Then I put this 0 here. Then I do 2 times 1 is 2. And then I do 2 times 3 is 6. And now I'm done with the 2 and the 5. So I take all these numbers and add them up going down, and I get 775. Everyone okay with my narrating that? So what did we actually do? I'm going to take away my thing that's hiding stuff. So 31 is 30 plus 1. 25 is 20 plus 5. Imagine that I didn't have a nice 2x2 box here, but I actually had 25 things going up and down and 31 things going left and right, and then I sort of hide a bunch of them, but I don't have that skill in artwork. When I did the blue number, 5 times 1, that's saying 5 times 1 is 5. When I did the green number, 3 times 5 is 15, I'm actually lying, because this is not a 3. It's a 30. See, that 3 is part of a 30. There's no 3 in this problem. We have a 30, a 1, a 20, and a 5. So this 3 is really a 30. What I'm doing is 30 times 5 is 150 in the green. And that's why it's a 1, a 5, and then another place value, right? 150 is right here. By the way, if you're only listening to this, I'm touching the screen a lot in the class, and you're just missing out because I am not skilled enough as an octopus to do all my sort of at the same time kind of thing. But oh well, that's why you show up to class. Okay, now we have this mysterious 0 that we put in gray. Why did we do that? Because this 2 isn't a 2. It is a 20. So when I'm doing 2 times 1, I'm lying. It's really 20 times 1. 20 times 1 is 20. That's my red number here. So I needed to put in that filler so that this 2 is like a 20, has 1 more place value scoop. And then when I do 3 times 2, I'm lying twice, because that's not a 3 and that's not a 2. It's a 30 times a 20. And that's 600. And then when I'm adding everything up, I have a 5, a 150, a 20, a 600, and you could add those up and see that you get the 775. Again, if I was a great artist, I would give you a rectangle that was 25 tall and 31 wide, and it would look even more cool, but I am not that good an artist. So again, you don't have to be able to do what I just did. No one will ever ask you to write a rectangle like this. I'm pretty sure even on the GED to multiply 2 numbers, but hopefully it makes sense. And if you have kids that have gone to elementary school in the past decade, they were asked to do it this way, and they never bothered to tell the parents what's happening, right? But it is the same thing. It would be nice if they actually like sent home a little mini YouTube thing that said, tell the parents, by the way, this is the same thing you grew up with, just it looks different. Okay. Let's multiply 2 more numbers. What should we multiply? We just roll some random numbers. Yes, I'm gonna say. First roll all 3 of them.
9, 8, 3.
9, 8, and 3. Okay, and now just roll 2 of them.
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Actually, I'm going to do it the same way I did before. 9, 8, 3, 6, and 7. You want me to pause and you can try this yourself for a moment before I do it and see if we get the same answer? Okay, I will pause the recording. Whoops, no pause. Okay, you're ahead of me, even if you haven't finished yet, which I don't expect anyone has. Then you keep working and kind of ignore me. And I'm going to do it both systems at the same time. So I'm going to say that we have a 900, an 80, and a 3. We have a 60 and a 7. So the first thing I'm doing is 7 times 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. By the way, if anyone wants to do this but doesn't know their times tables by heart, just grab a calculator and you could do 7 times 3 that way too. Or your phone or whatever. So that was the 7 times 3. Now I'm doing what looks like 7 times 8, but is really 7 times 80. So 7 times 8 is 56 with a 0. Whoops, I'm forgetting to write things. 7 times 3 is 1, carry the 2. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry the 2 goes on and we get 58 with a carry. Now I'm doing what looks like 9 times 7, but is really 900 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63 with 2 zeros, or 9 times 7 is 63, and then the 5 we're going to add on and get 8. Everyone gets 6881 for the top row. Now we get to put this mysterious 0 here. That's because this is not a 6, it's a 60. So I'm going 60 times 3, 60 times 3 over here. 6 times 3 is 18 with 1 0. 6 times 3 is 18. Offset that. Now I'm carrying 1. Now I have 60 times 80. 6 times 8 is 48 with 2 zeros. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 1 makes it 49. And lastly, I have 60 times 900. 9 times 6 is 54. And there's 3 zeros. 9 times 6 is 54, and that 4 we were carrying, so we get that. I kind of squished and ran out of room. Okay, now we add things up. 1, 8 and 8 is 16. 9 and 1 is 10. 8 more makes 18. 7 and 8 is going to be 15. That looks like a dot, and it should be a plus. Get a plus. There we go. 5 and 1 is 6. So we got that answer that way. If we're adding things up on the other side, 54 with 3 zeros, 48 with 2 zeros, 63 with 2 zeros, 560, 180, and 21. And then we add up all of that, we get a 1. 8 and 2 makes a 1. And 8, 9, 10 makes a 1. 5 and 3 is 8. 6 and 4 makes a 1. And 5 and 1 makes 6. So we get the same answer either way. And it was exactly the same steps. I multiplied the same numbers. It was just which zeros I wrote and which ones I didn't. Questions before I hit stop record?